Ooh, stage 20 here. We got a fun one today with S-Web, Spider Queen, my friends, and Boss Rush Season 2. Excited to break it all down for you in today's episode as the #1 free-to-play player here and bring it home. With that, thank you for tuning in. As always, I appreciate your support. Thank you for likes and the subs. Additionally, my friends, if you got a question or comment along the way, shoot them over here my way. That's right. And feel free to join us in our amazing Discord server and community. All right, a couple things here. Stage 20, S-Web, Spider Queen. We got a few things going on. We actually got 3 different parts to this one. A little bit of a longer battle. We're going to break it all down. Additionally, before we get started, as always, make sure you grab those supply chests and make sure that you take advantage of all your suppression levels, because that is extraordinarily important. It will help you get through faster. That's right. All right, so now let's go ahead and dive into stage 20. Couple things. As always, we do have our special conditions that we like to call it. Min biscuit levels 20, cookie levels 90, skill levels 90. Everything else doesn't matter. So what does matter is those biscuits, those toppings, those tarts are really your gear. All the little tweaks. We'll talk a little bit about that as we always do. And in case we do have all of our gear guides here on the channel for you as well. Now, the big one, the first rule, obviously, well, not obvious, but now you know, if you haven't watched my show, the channel, here you got boss information. The first rule of Boss Rush is make sure that you read the boss information. It's going to give you the ideas of what you need to build out your synergies. Here, like I said, we have 3 parts. The first one, regular effect. The boss reduces damage dealt by targets weak against interrupting effects, but is vulnerable to rapid attacks and receives increased wind type damage. Again, pretty much at this part, we've kind of seen everything. So we have that team ready to go. We have the rage effect here. The first one, the boss shares a portion of damage taken by summons and receives increased water type damage. We've done that one. And then lastly here we got the boss, the rage effect passive. The boss becomes vulnerable to crit damage and receives increased electricity type damage. Nice, we got that as well. All right, so we have it all here for you on the channel. Let's get through these 3 teams. We're going to break it down one by one. The first one here being the boss shares shares a portion of damage taken by summons. The boss reduces damage dealt by targets weak against interrupting effects, but is vulnerable to rapid attacks. So very, very important here on speed. So let's get into it here. You can see we're kind of playing around already with some of that speed and rapid attacks. However, it's going to be this team right here that we're going to use. Now, in the other episodes, we broke down one of the reasons of why we've used Pavlova in this particular team relative to some of the other stuff. However, the main thing here really is just making sure that you have the 2 charges, you have the ambush, you have the 3 range, and then you have the 1 support there in order to build out this particular thing, which is going to give you the darkness, the whisper of the wind, plus the summon giant stormbringer. Additionally, what it is that speed, need for speed attacks, lots of those pieces there. Okay, let's go ahead and don't forget, the closer you can get here, the better. We are above. That's nice. If you can get to that 51, makes a big difference. Those ascensions, those promotions really do help in Boss Rush. The biggest tweaking though that you're going to get here is that gear. So either typically you're going to be on cooldown or attack. In this case, we're going to stay on attack here. Here we're on more attack. Ideally, these tweaks here would want to align to those pieces as well. Here we're on attack. We got fire. We're on speed here, crit. And here you're going to want attack or crit. Down here we got cooldown. This you can be on attack or crit. And then here we have attack and attack speed. You may want to swap something like creme brulee in here as another example, or those kinds of things. So just calling out some ideas. A lot of this stuff, you will be able to build these teams as a free-to-play player through the mileage shop. Not obviously any of these legendaries are ancients, so just be aware of that. And I am fully aware of it. All right. So there we go. That's the first one. Let's go ahead and use up one of our tickets. Now, if you do have a question or comment along the way, please let me know. Additionally, again, as always, I truly appreciate your support. Thank you for the likes and the subs. Here we go. Let's break this one down super, super quick. Get that damage in. Getting that wind speed in is very, very nice, as you can see. Now, one of the tricks you can do is once you get through, if you do get through, instead of blowing through that time there we go, into the next one, you can pause and move into that next piece. All right, so there's our first one. We got 65%. We got 1 ticket in. Not bad. We got it all the way through. That's really, really key in this opportunity to really, really crush these bosses. This is where we're going to make up a lot of that time, is really in these multi-stage ones. So being diligent on that is going to make a huge, huge difference. You'll probably see our score jump here, hopefully fairly high, 174. So we'll come back to that a little bit later. All right, so now on the second phase here, we got the rage effect. The boss shares a portion of damage taken by summons and receives increased water type damage. All right, so which one is this? Let's go ahead and take a look. It's going to be over here. So we've done this one before, actually, I think a couple rushes ago, where again, the hyper focus really is on those summons, like it said. So here, summons and water type damage. So what we've done is we've got our water type damage here. If you can get Sea Fairy in here, if you'd like to, a swap in on Prune as an example might be one to increase that water type damage and take advantage of the added bonus effects as an example. However, this is the one that I'm going to use. It is able to get me through, and we're taking advantage of the additional summon there with Prune. And we got the big giant Prune poison jelly here. We also got the big fire type burning spice as well, giving everything water type damage. We got the summon creatures attack, we got the debuff, and we got enemy summon creatures receive 100%. So again, the big one here is just really being focused on water, and then making sure that you have lots of summon creatures. The earth one's pretty good as well, because you got a ton of units. The darkness one as well, you get more units. So those are some ideas that you can think of. And then additionally here, Linzer is always key. Should have said that in the first one too. And taking advantage of a lot of these cookies here again, as a free-to-play player that you can get from the mileage shop. All right, gears. Here we're on cooldown. Here we're on attack. Here we're on attack. Here we're on attack. Here we're on cooldown. Speed. Nope, speed. And then last but not least, cooldown. So giving you some ideas on what that looks like there for you relatively quickly. Ideally, again, cooldown, attack, those kinds of things are going to be crucial for the speed of your team. All right, so here we go. Let's get through the next phase here, which is that water summon pieces there. Here we go. Now, as you can see, we'll be doing pretty good here. It's going to be close. The good thing is getting all this damage in, getting those summons to take a lot of damage makes a big difference. And as you can see, we're starting to work our way through fairly quickly here. There we go. We got extra 4 seconds. Now, instead of taking that additional damage, we could have paused and moved off and saved some of that time as an example. All right, we're now 33%. We got one more to go. We'll see if we can do it in one ticket. It might end up being two. Before we get in there, though, we're going to take advantage of that. Yes, get that up there because that is crucial for us. All right, now into the last phase here. The last phase is this. The boss becomes vulnerable to crit damage and receives increased electricity type damage. So we really want to make sure that that crit level's up because you want that crit damage in, and you want to make it electric type. In order to do this one, another very popular one was this right here. So now we got the Darkness Overlord, we got the Torrent of Flame, and we also have, again, the key electricity type, getting the double charge here off of Stormbringer and getting the Overcurrent, which is going to be super helpful here to lift that electric, not only electric type damage, but that crit type as well, to get lots and lots of damage in. Okay, so this is what we're running in this capacity. Again, Linzer in there. We got our Twizzly. Lots of great things that you can pull again from the mileage shop. Big one being here, you got to be on 2 charge, 1 ambush, 2 range, and then 2 support. You can always think about moving Star Coral as an additional support as an example. However, it worked out really well for me in my particular grouping. And then again, on your stars here, depending on how you're doing, you can think about that. That additional 5% attack will make a nice difference for you. All right, so now gear time, my friends. Gear, we're on crit. Here we're on cooldown. Here we're on attack, speed, crit, because we want to be on crit. Lots of attack. And then cool down there. All right, and maybe instead of Wind Archer, you throw in Creme Brulee as an example. Okay, all right, there we go. Let's go for it. Let's see if we can do it with 1 ticket here. I think it's going to be 2. We'll find out in a second. While we're doing this, though, thank you once again. Let me know if you got a question, and I appreciate your support. All right. And thank you to all of our members, as always, too. All right, it's going to be close. I think it's going to end up being 2. We're not quite getting through it fast enough. So here's that double overcurrent, as you can see, for the electric type damage. So close. We got 1 more ticket we need to use up. Here we go. And again, this is why these big bosses here have that ability to really spread things out and take up a lot of time trying to get through. There we go. Look at that. We've squished the spider. We've got it in about 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Not bad. Not bad at all. New record for us. Let's go. And we have now completed stage 20, my friends, of boss rush. Now with that, look at that, moving up 20,000 rank. Not bad, huh? We got a good one coming up next at 21 as well. However, today we did complete stage 20 S-Web Spider Queen, my friends. I hope you enjoyed today's episode as we broke down the 3 key teams, gave you all the tips and tricks, some swaps and ideas for you as the #1 free-to-play player to help you get through this particular stage of boss rush. If you still got a question, you got a comment, please let me know. I love to hear from you as always, and we'd love to see you in our amazing community and Discord server, my friends. With that, thank you to all of our members. We got affiliate links, we got swag and merch, all great ways to support. I really appreciate it. My socials, stay in touch. And with that, we got more boss rush and more cookie run headed your way all the time here on the channel. And until next time, my friends, keep on running.